السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. الحمد لله الذي جعل الشمس والقمر حسبانا والنجم والشجر يسجدان، فضل زمانا على زمان كما فضل إنسانا على إنسان ومكانا على مكان، والصلاة والسلام على نبينا وأعلانا وأولانا ومولانا محمد صلى الله عليه وعلى آله وصحبه وبارك وسلم تسليما كثيرا. أما بعد. We start in the name of Allah, the one who has created the sun and the moon to move in precise calculation, the one who has created the stars and the trees to prostrate, and we send salutation on our Nabi, the most highest of us, the most close to us, and our Master Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam. Welcome to Quranic Arabic Academy, Arabic Grammar Made Easy, lesson number 8. As usual, we make the dua to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Rabbi yassir wa la tu'assir wa tammim bil khair wa bika nasta'in. Rabbi yassir wa la tu'assir wa tammim bil khair wa bika nasta'in. Rabbi yassir wa la tu'assir وتمم بالخير وبك نستعين. رضيت بالله ربا وبالإسلام دينا وبمحمد رسولا. رضيت بالله ربا وبالإسلام دينا وبمحمد رسولا. رضيت بالله ربا وبالإسلام دينا وبمحمد رسولا. Before we move on to today, let's recap. Kalima is 3 types. Number 1, ismun. Number 2, fi'lun. Number 3, harfun. Ism has 4 properties. Number 1, al-i'rab. Number 2, al-naw. Number 3, al-adad. And number 4, at-ta'yin. Alhamdulillah, we went through all these one by one, but let's quickly go through it. What is i'rab? I'rab is the grammatical function of a noun or a word in the sentence. So we have 3 types of i'rab: the halatul rafa, and the slot. The ism is in this halat or this slot. It is called marfu'un. And alamatul rafa is dhamma. Okay, we call it alamatul rafa, the sign of being in the state of rafa. So what do we call alamatul rafa? Ad-dhammatu. Alamatul rafa, the sign of being in halatul rafa is ad-dhamma. The next one, halatul nasb, the slot is called mansubun. And the alamat, or the sign of halatul nasb, is fatha. So we say alamatul nasbi al-fathatu. Alamatul nasbi al-fathatu. Number 3, halatul jar, the any ism or the slot is called majrurun, and the sign of majrur is kasra. So we say alamatul jarri al-kasratu. Alamatul jarri al-kasratu. The number 2, and now is the gender of a noun. So there's 2 genders. Number 1, mudhakkarun, and number 2, muannathun. Every ism in Arabic either is going to be a mudhakkar is going to be a muannas. We just need to know the alamat or the signs of muannas, then the rest will be mudhakkar. We've learned 3 signs of muannas. Number 1, there's 4 ways to find a muannas. Number 1 is by nature they are muannas. And number 2 is there are 3 signs. Number 1, ta marbut at the end, and alif mamduda, and alif maksura. And number 3 way to find ism is muannas, body parts in pairs. And number 4 way to find a muannas, that Arab calls them muannas, so they are muannas sima'i, and the rest will be mudhakkar. Then al-adad, the numbers, we need to know the ism front of us is a singular, or is it a dual, or is it a plural. So the 3 types of al-adad. Number 1 is al-mufrad. Mufrad gives us the singular meaning. And what are the signs of mufrad ism in Arab? Marfu'un is dhamma, mansub is fatha, and majroor is kasra. Al-muthanna gives us the meaning of a dual. And what are the Arab of al-muthanna? We've learned the muthanna will show its Arab with harf. And there are 2 harfs. Number 1 is in marfu, it will show with alif. In mansub and majroor, it will show with ya ma qabal fatha. Okay, before them, there will be a fatha. And then we need to add a noon kasra to show it is muannas, al-muthanna. And number 3, al-jama', the plural. We have 3 types of plural. Number 1, Jam'u al-mudhakkar is salim. Number 2, Jam'u al-muannas is salim. And number 3, al-jam'u al-mukassar. Now let's go through the Arab of one by one. The Arab of Jam'u al-mudhakkar as-salim will show Arab with harf. So same as muthanna. So al-muthanna and Jama' mudhakkar salim shows Arab with harf. So what is the harf that shows Arab of Jama' mudhakkar salim? So in marfu case with the waw, in mansub and majroor case with the ya, ma qabal kasra. Okay, and then we need to add a noon with fatha to show its Jama' mudhakkar salim. There are some words in Arabic we do see ya ma qabal kasra, and the noon will have a fatha. Remember, this type of noun are the Jamal Mukassar. They will have wahid or mufrad, but this noon is part of the part of the ism. This noon is not the extra ism. Like a few examples we are learning is shayateen. So shayateen, this noon is part of the ism. This noon is the original noon. It is not the extra noon of Jam'u Mudhakkar Salim. Another one, masakin. Okay, masakinu. So this noon of masakin is part of the ism. It is not the extra ism, or it is not extra noon. It is not the noon of Jam'u Mudhakkar Salim. Okay, so we need to be careful when we see this type of words. Then Jam'u Muannas Salim shows Arab with haraka. So in marfu with dhamma, mansub and majroor with kasra. Jam'u Mukassar, it shows Arab with in marfu dhamma, in mansub fatha, and in majroor kasra. So when it is marfu, we say marfu وعلامة الرفع الضمة. And when it is mansub, say mansubun. وعلامة النصب الفتحة. عن المجرور you say مجرور. وعلامة الجر الكسرة. Then we have جمع المكسر. One very important point to remember. جمع المكسر is always treated المفرد المؤنث. المفرد المؤنث. So whenever we see جمع المكسر in the sentence, then we will treat it as مؤنث واحد or مفرد مؤنث. Then إعراب of غير منصرف, I'm forgetting to change that. إعراب غير منصرف. مفرد and جمع is the same إعراب because we've learned the مفرد and جمع مكسر إعراب is the same. So in مرفوع case with one ضمة, منصوب case one فتحة, مجرور case one فتحة. Because غير منصرف اسم has two rules. Number one, it does not accept tanween, and number two, غير منصرف اسم does not accept kasra. So in majrur case, original it is kasra, but because it's غير منصرف, instead it will have a fatha. It cannot have dhamma because dhamma is already taken. Marfu has taken the dhamma, right? And we have no choice. Also, mansub has taken the fatha, but we have no choice. This is why in majrur also it will have a fatha. At-ta'yin, we've learned the ta'yin is definiteness. There's two types of ta'yin. One is nakiratun, another one is ma'rifatun. Nakira is the indefinite nouns and ma'rifa is the definite nouns. And then we have 7 types of ma'rifa, 7 types of definite noun. What are they? Number 1, ismul alam is the proper nouns. Ismul alam is the proper nouns. And then we have al-mu'arrafu bil-lami. Okay. Look at the spelling of lam. This is how you spell the lam. First we need, this is the alif lam we're talking about. So this is alif lam. Ba is extra. This alif lam. And this is lam and mim. The word is lam. We need 2 lams. Many of us, we spell it with 1 lam. So this lam is the al. And this lam is the name of the letter. Remember, next time you spell, it is spelled with 2 lams. Al-mu'arraf billah means an ism made ma'rifa with adding the lam. We're adding the lam. When we add the lam is sukoon. So we need to read, we need to pronounce the sukoon. So how do we do that? There's only one possible. We add hamza. We add alif or hamza. Right. So some places you may say al-mu'arrafu bi-al. Yeah. That is okay for beginners, is all right. But alhamdulillah, we're not beginners. Even though some of us, we did start Arabic now, but we want to do the proper way. Yeah. So actually the lam that makes the ism ma'rifa, not alif and lam. Okay. The alif or the hamza, it is added so we can read the lam. Otherwise the lam, this lam is called lamut ta'rif. Lamut ta'rif. That lam makes a nakira ism into ma'rifa. Number 3, ismul ishara. We've learned ismul ishara, the pointing nouns or the demonstrative nouns. We have ismul ishara qareeb, Then we have Ismul Ishara Ba'id. Ismul Ishara Qarib has 6 forms, 3 for Mudhakkar, Al-Mufrad, Al-Muthanna, Al-Jama', and 3 for Muannas, Al-Mufrad, Al-Muthanna, Al-Jama'. Then Ismul Ishara Ba'id, pointing nouns for things far away. Again, they have 6 forms, 3 for Mudhakkar and 3 for Muannas. I hope and I do think that you have memorized Ismul Ishara. It's very important. If you haven't memorized till now, please do so. Then we have Al-Ismul Mawsul, the relative nouns. This relative, in English it's called pronouns, relative pronouns. We use to make something clear that we're talking about. Again, it has 6 forms only, 3 for Mudhakkar and 3 for Muannas. These are very easy. Alladhi, Alladhani, Alladhina for Mudhakkar. For Muannas, Allati, Allatani, Allati, and Allai. Then we have Ad-Damir, the pronouns. So damirs are used in the place of a ism already been mentioned. Is already been mentioned. Then we have 5 types of damirs. So we're going to learn 3 types now, and the other 2 types we will learn when we do the fail, the verbs. So number 1 is called Ad-Damir Al-Marfu' Al-Muttasil. Okay. And the plural of Damir is Dama'ir. So if you're going to say Dama'ir, then you have to say Ad-Dama'iru Al-Marfu'atu Al-Muttasilatu. Okay. The word Marfu is telling us these Damirs are used in Marfu slot. The number 2 we have Ad-Damir. Sorry, the Damir of Marfu is Munfasil. Yeah, Munfasil. Ad-Damir Al-Marfu Al-Munfasila. Okay, I made a mistake there. So let's start again. First type of Damir is Ad-Damir Al-Marfu Al-Munfasil. If you want to use the plural, Ad-Dama'iru Al-Marfu'atu Al-Munfasilatu. Detached damirs. And they are only used in Marfu case. And they are damir of Marfu. Number 2, Ad-Damir Al-Mansub Al-Muttasil. Attached damirs. So damir mansub we need to attach to an ism or a fail. Okay. So ad-damir al-mansub al-muttasil, ad-damairu al-mansubatu al-muttasilatu. So same damir as used also in majroor. So they will be in majroor case as well. So they will be ad-damir al-majroor al-muttasil, ad-damairu al-majrooratu al-muttasilatu. So the nasab case damir and the jar case damir are the same. Okay. The nasab case damir are only used in fail, and the jar case damirs are used only with ism. Then we have al-mudaf al-ma'rifah, and number 7 al-munada. Okay. These 2, al-mudaf al-ma'rifah and al-munada, we will do them in the later lessons when we do sentences, because we need to understand a bit more. So without making the sentences, we will not understand. So we'll leave these two for now. We will do this al-mudaf ila al-ma'rifa and al-munada when we do sentences, inshallah. Today's lesson, in this lesson, we're going to learn, understand the 5 properties of a fi'l and understand the 2 properties of a harf. Alhamdulillah, everything that we need to know about ism, we've completed. Everything we need to know about ism, we have completed. Now we are ready to start making sentences using only ism. Okay? Now we're going to learn the 5 properties of a fi'l. Now, this number 5 shouldn't put you off. Okay? Ism has only 4 properties and fi'l has 5, means fi'l has a lot of rules and things to remember. No, it shouldn't put you off. They're so simple, so easy. Yeah? And we're going to learn one by one as we learn the fi'l, right? So within the fi'l, these 5 properties we can learn just like that. It's not that hard. It's very simple and easy to do it. One thing I would say and request to everyone, you must practice. Okay, you must practice. Otherwise, just coming to these lessons and let's say you forget about it, wait for the next day to see the videos and the lessons, and you don't do any practice, it's not going to help you at all. Yeah? You need to practice, you need to learn. So do the exercises, do the quizzes. It doesn't matter if you get something wrong. As we know that you learn from your mistakes. You learn from your mistakes. So if you're serious about learning Arabic grammar to understand the Quran, if you're serious about it, and as a Muslim you should be, as a Muslim you should be serious. The Quran is the constitution. The Quran is our manual of our life. If you don't go through the manual, how are you going to operate your life? So as a Muslim, we should be serious about learning these Arabic grammars and to understand the Quran. So therefore, please do your practice, do your exercises, inshallah, you learn something. So, yes, there are 5 properties of a fi'l. Let's go through them one by one. The 5 properties of a fi'l. Number 1, al-i'rab. Same as ism. Ism is i'rab. So the fi'l also will have al-i'rab. Number 2, az-zaman. Tense. The fi'l will give us the meaning of a tense. Yeah. And number 3, an-naw, gender. Fi'l also has a gender. Number 4, muthbat wa manfi, affirmation and negation. Number 5, ma'lumun or majhulun. Ma'lumun is active voice and majhulun the passive voice. Okay, if we don't remember these names in English, it doesn't matter as long as we remember them in Arabic. So 5 properties of a fi'l. Number 1, al-i'rab. Number 2, az-zaman. Number 3, an-naw. Number 4, muthbat wa manfi. And number 5, ma'lum or majhul. Now let's go through these one by one. There are 3 cases of a fi'l. The i'rab of fi'l are 3. Number 1, marfu'un. We've learned marfu, same as ism. So the fi'l if it's in marfu state, it will show its i'rab with dhamma. And if the fa'il number 2 is mansub case, the fa'il will show its i'rab with a fatha. Number 3, this is the new one, majzoomun. Majzoom. If fa'il is in this state, majzoom, it will show its i'rab with a sukoon. Okay. The ism doesn't have a sukoon as an i'rab. Okay. And a fa'il doesn't have a majroor, because a fa'il never has kasra. Fa'il never will have a kasra. The kasra is a sign of an ism. Ism accepts kasra, but fa'il does not accept kasra. This is why we don't have majroor. Fa'il accepts sukoon, and ism does not accept sukoon. The last letter I'm talking about of an ism, it accepts a fatha, dhamma, fatha, and kasra. So these are the 3 cases of fa'il. Number 1, marfu. Number 2, mansub. Number 3, majzoom. We know the first 2. Marfu means fa'il will show its i'rab with a dhamma. And mansub case, the fa'il will show i'rab with fatha. Number 3 is the new one, majzoom. Fa'il will show its i'rab with a sukoon. Then az-zaman, tense. There are 3 tenses of a fa'il. Number 1, al-madi, past tense. So this type of fa'il will give us past tense meaning. Number 2, al-mudari'u, present or future tense. So this mudari' one form will give us 2 meaning, present tense meaning or the future tense meaning. And number 3, al-amru, imperative or command. Imperative or command. 3 tenses of a fa'il, al-madi, al-mudari', al-amru. Al-madi, past tense, al-mudari', present and future tense, and al-amru, imperative or command. Okay, understood so far? We are going through the 5 properties of a fa'il. Number 1, al-i'rab, and number 2, az-zaman. Number 3, al-naw'u, gender. A fa'il also has a gender, mudhakkar and muannas. So a verb, a form of a verb to use for mudhakkar, and a form of a verb to use for muannas isms. Muthbat and manfi, affirmation and negation. Some form of a fa'il will give us the affirmation meaning. It means that the fa'il shows that the action took place. Action took place, and it is called muthbat. Negation means that the fa'il shows that the action did not take place. Negative, yeah? Negation. It's called manfi. So if I say, he did, for example, he did. So action took place. So this will be muthbat. And if I say, he did not do, the action did not take place. So this will be manfi. So muthbat, action took place. Manfi, action did not take place. And number 5, ma'lumun, majhulun. Ma'lumun, active voice. Active voice means this is a verb in which the subject is doing the action. The subject is doing the action, the doer. We call it the doer. The doer is doing the action. It is called ma'lum. Because you know the doer. You will know who is doing the action. Majhul, passive voice, means this is a verb in which the fail is done on the subject. Who is the doer is unknown. The doer is unknown, but the action has been done on the subject, and it is called majhul. So again, don't worry if you do not understand now. Inshallah, when we do fail, everything will be clear. Okay, just have these terms back of your mind, and rest will become clear when we do in more details of these properties of fail. We will learn the 5 properties of fail in more details when we learn the verbal sentence. Okay, so just to make you aware or introduce you to the fail. Now let's do the harf. Harf particles, 2 properties only 2 properties. There are 2 properties of a harf, and they are number 1 al-i'rab, state, and number 2 al-amil, governance. Arab, we know the grammatical state of either ism or either fail or either harf. A new term, a new name, which is al-amil, governance. Okay. This amil only is used with the harf. It means there are some harf that takes action either on the ism or either on the fail. What I mean by action, some harf changes the i'rab of the ism or of the fail. Some harf will take the ism in marfu case. Some harf will take the ism in mansub case, and some harf will take the ism in majrur case. So those huruf are called amil. They are doing something to the word after it. So this is called amil. Now let's go through number 1 a bit more detail. Number 1, al-i'rab of harf. All harf are mabni, means they remain unchanged. Okay, a harf has no slot. Remember, harf has no slot. So harf cannot be in marfu case. Harf cannot be in mansub case. Harf cannot be in majrur. It doesn't have a slot in the sentence. Okay. So remember this, all huruf are mabni, and harf has no slot in the sentence. Number 2 property of harf is al-amil. There are 2 types of huruf in Arabic. Number 1 is al-amil, governing, and number 2, ghayrul amil, non-governing. So we know the meaning of amil, that causes a change the word after it. Either the word is ism or a fail. Means it will the particle will take the ism either in marfu case or mansub case or majrur case. A particle will take a fail in marfu case or mansub case or majzoom case. Those huruf are called al-amil. Ghayrul amil, they don't do anything. They don't do any action to the word after it. So if they don't do anything, the ism will be in default marfu case, and the fail will be default marfu case, because the default every ism is marfu. Okay, so they will not take any ism to mansub case or majrur case. The ghayrul amil particles will not take a fail in mansub or majzoom case. They remain in marfu case. Understand? Is that clear? And again, don't worry if you forget these things. We'll be covering this again and again and again, so it sticks in your head. See the way we are doing from the kalima we're doing every day, so it sticks in your head. The kalima, the 3 types of kalima, and the ism, the 4 properties of ism, and one by one. So we'll be doing this one every day. One sticks in your head, inshallah will be there. So same way we'll be doing the all 5 properties of fail every day, one by one. But not now, as we said, we'll do that when we start our fail. But because we have done everything about ism, we have learned everything about ism, now we are ready to make sentences in Arabic. So from the next lesson, inshallah, we'll start the sentences. 2 properties of harf. We will learn the 2 properties of harf in more details when we learn sentences. We will know those huruf are amil, or those huruf are ghayrul amil. Those huruf makes a change to the word after it. When I say change, it means the Arab. Okay, it changes the Arab, and those huruf will not change the Arab of the ism or fail. They are called ghayrul amil. Okay, understand? Right, this is the end of lesson 8. That's it for this lesson. This is all we need to know. And again, I'm saying we'll go through the 5 properties of fail in more details one by one when we start doing fail. And the 2 properties of huruf we can start in the next lesson when we do our sentences, inshallah. So again, I thank you for coming to these lessons, and we ask Allah to give us the ability and the tawfiq and the zeal to learn Arabic grammar so we can be attached with the Quran at all times. May I ask Allah to give us barakah in our time, barakah in our life, barakah in our wealth, barakah in our family, barakah in our children. We ask Allah that He makes our children pious. We ask Allah to make our children practice Muslim. We ask Allah that Allah give them the understanding of the Quran. Give them the zeal and the interest to learn the science of Quran, the miracle of the Quran. So we will only can able to learn the science and miracle of the Quran, understand, once we know Arabic grammar. Okay, so it's very important. We just have to give a little time, that's it. Alright, inshallah, we'll see you in the next lesson. سبحانك اللهم بحمدك نشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت نستغفرك ونتوب إليك. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.